personality?
Okay. Well, I am Blair. I've had ADHD for as long as I can remember. But only actually knew I did have it, or I do have it, maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, because I was just spending too much time on the internet, and I was like, can I swear on this? Yeah, I was just like, fuck it, I was just go to the doctor and find out, and just gave me a tick box exercise. So yeah, pretty exciting to know I actually do have it, and I wasn't just being a pure weirdo and running about and being mental all the time. But loved healthy people. What else? I actually quite like having it. I know a lot of people probably that have it might not agree, but I actually do enjoy having it. Allows me to take more risks, and I feel like it makes me better at speaking to people. But obviously, as everything that comes with like cons and stuff as well, I'm not very organised. Time management's pretty poor. My room's always pretty messy, which is a bit of a pain. So I feel there's loads of other things, but I don't really know. I don't really give it much thought, to be honest. Like, I kind of just have it, just raw dog it. I'm not really that bothered. Right? I don't really take any medication for it or speak to anyone about it. I don't know. I feel like if you're trying to like medicate it and stuff, you're kind of almost like doing yourself a disservice, really, because kind of just like that's who I am. So there's not really much point in being like, oh yeah, nah, I'd rather just like change it now. Because I've been not been doing it, because I've had it for like 24 years. It's like been fine this whole time. So there's no point in being like, oh yeah, I'm just going to take loads of medication now. Trying to think, what else? It's probably going to be a lot of like, oh, I don't know what to say, or oh, what do I think? Probably to follow on from the whole, oh, I like having it, because I do like music business at uni, and I have like a club night I run. It's pretty good. Because one thing you get when you've got ADHD is being hyper focused on things you like. Doesn't really apply to uni work, because I hate uni work, so I'm not really hyper focused on that, which means that I usually don't do the work till it's very, very close to the deadline. Because I do a floor above and do the club night and stuff, like it's kind of all I do all the time. Pretty obsessive over it, so definitely comes in handy with that.
What is
Floor above? Oh, it's it's a promoter group that I started with somebody I bumped into at the reading room. So we were a bit intoxicated and started just going about how it would be fun to run a club night. And usually stuff like that at clubs is kind of jobby talk, and you're just like, don't really do it. But he was like, yeah, let's actually just do it. So I was like, cool. So I run a club night once every month at King's in Dundee. It's pretty good. Just bringing DJs from around the world to come play. I say around the world, it's just Europe and Britain. It's too expensive to get them from anywhere else.
what kind of music is it?
Kind of like heavier music, like a lot of techno music. But because I play a lot of different genres, we try to keep the bookings kind of the same as that. By bookings, I just mean like the people that we bring over. But one of the resin nights when it's just floor above playing is techno and stuff. But if we're booking DJs, it could be like electro or techno, garage, jungle. So yeah, having ADC definitely helps with that. It also helps with booking guests, because it does get a bit awkward. For some people it gets quite awkward speaking to a guest, because like you don't really have much in common apart from tunes, but I just kind of chew their ear off. And then sometimes tell me to shut up, and sometimes they'll pretend to enjoy it. But yeah, that's probably another thing that ADHD makes quite easy. But trying to think what else. Oh man, people speak so loud. What else? What do I not like about it? Makes me quite unorganised. I struggle with time management. Like today I was up like 11 o'clock, but then I had to get ready till like 12:30. I had to be here for like 1:15. Even though I was doing nothing, I was just lying in my bed. I'm quite susceptible to panic attacks, which is fun. But that's not all the time. I'm not going to pretend it's like all the time, because it isn't. It's like, because when I think about things, like I don't really have any like a point of hush in my brain. It's always just like an endless train of thought. The best way to describe it is almost like a train that doesn't really ever have an end. It just kind of branches off on different rails, and there's not really much end to the thought. So when things are like quite high stress environment, like I don't know, if I'm stressing over money or like plans or deadlines at uni, I kind of have panic attacks sometimes. But yeah, that's not that fun to be honest. But what else? It's hard. I find it quite hard to have relationships because with having ADHD, it's almost like I kind of get bored with people, which sounds quite bad. Actually, that sounds horrible, but I'm just going to be honest. Like, it's not anyone's fault. Like, it's not like I'll just wake up one day and be like, oh yeah, I'm finished with this now. It's kind of like a slow process. It's kind of like the hyper-focus thing. If I start a relationship, I get very hyper-focused at the start, and it's like very lustrous and exciting for like 6 months, and then when that like natural process of it become like, it will say like leaving that sort of honeymoon phase where it is all very lustrous and stuff, it does kind of almost get like, it's like I kind of get bored of it, which again sounds bad. That's going to make me sound like such a horrible person, but that's the honest truth of it. What else? I find it hard to always keep in touch with people all the time. Like, it's almost like, I don't know, if I've had like a busy couple of days, because I do like speaking to people, as I've said, I do like keeping in contact with folk a lot, but there is times where like, it's almost like a crash, where I'll have like a couple of days of busyness and being active and being up for speaking all the time, and then there'll be like a day where I just lie in my bed and don't do anything. And for some people that is like quite hard to understand, because I'm quite a hyperactive, like excited person. I'm very easily excitable, but when it's like, do that all the time, and there's like a couple of days where I'm just like lying in my bed not doing anything, like wasting time away really. It's like, I don't know, people are always like, oh, but you're not usually like that. But it's just one of those things, I suppose. That was probably a bit of a ramble there, but oh well. What else do you feel like I should cover? I like to have it. Okay. I don't know. I just like. I like that it makes me very individual. I think the term is neurodivergent. I think that's like the actual label of it. That's like people have like ADHD, autism, and stuff. Like, I do kind of enjoy it. It's like I'm not the same as anyone else. Obviously, everyone's like their own person, but I feel like having that kind of makes me a bit more different from people, which some people would see as a bad thing, but I actually really enjoy it. I don't know, I just have a very positive outlook on it, because it's like just who I am, and I enjoy who I am, to be honest. What else do I like about it? I don't know, I like that I take risks for a lot of things. She got headphones on, I thought she was listening there. I like that, I don't know, it makes me take more risks, which is good. I don't really think about consequences too much, which some people would see as a bad thing. I've definitely got myself in a few sticky situations, usually money-wise. Not like gambling and stuff, just maybe like biting off too much with floor above and that. But always kind of works itself out in the end, so it does always work out. But yeah, I feel like the whole like being able to take more risks, I probably wouldn't have been where I am now in terms of even like uni or life or floor above or DJing and stuff. I probably wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for like being more open to taking risks and not really thinking about consequences too much. Because I feel like with a lot of people, if you're worried about consequences a lot, then that's completely fine though. Like, there's nothing wrong with worrying about that. But I feel like worrying about consequences kind of holds a lot of people back. Having ADHD, I don't really tend to hold myself back very much. It's the same as like in conversation, not even in just like business ventures or uni. It's the same as conversation. I'm more open to just going up and speaking to people, or like talking to people I don't know, because like I don't really think about, oh, what if they're like, I don't really have much of a fear of rejection because I don't really think about it too much. It's like I'll just kind of speak to anyone, and if they're not for speaking, that's fine. I'll just do the speaking anyway. So what else do I like about it? I don't know. I like that I enjoy a chaotic lifestyle. Apart from obviously the whole like having like a crash every now and then, or like needing time to myself every now and then. I do find comfort in having quite a chaotic life. I always feel like I'm wanting to do something, which I enjoy. I feel like it keeps me very productive. But as I said, on the flip side, it doesn't keep me productive with things I don't like. Like I have like maybe 8 hand-ins due for uni. I don't think I've started any of them, which is a bit shite, but it is what it is. I also go through quite like stints of depressive episodes, not like super depressive episodes, like kind of just like goes in kind of hand in hand with the whole having like I just call it an ADHD crash. I don't know if that's a correct term, but like I just feel like very overwhelmed, and usually I have like heightened anxiety when I go through like an ADHD crash, and then with that like heightened anxiety, I just think about everything that's like sad, which is not always the funnest, but it's just part of it, I suppose. Like there's no good without bad and all that.
Sad about you or sad about?
It's more sad about me, just like, I don't know, worrying about things, and then because I worry, just then makes me sad about stuff. I don't even, like, not really anything in particular, it's just almost like a kind of like a wave of sadness comes over. Huh?
How do you get out of it?
I kind of just like make myself aware of it. I try to be very self-aware with things. So if I'm like going through a depressive episode, it's kind of almost just thinking to myself like, this isn't permanent. Like, but when it first started happening, I was obviously a bit younger, so I didn't really identify feelings very well. So I would kind of just be like, oh, I'm so sad, this is like the end of the world. But now I'm just like, I'd say it's maybe a couple of months, it'll be like a week where I'm just like dead drained and sad. But because I know it's like not gonna last like forever, it's kind of just like I'm actually open to the idea of being sad. Because I feel like the processing emotions is probably quite essential with the way I am. I got really sad there. What else? I think if there's anything else I feel like is like a big thing. I've talked about the relationships, I think.
How did you feel when you got diagnosed?
It was almost like kind of not like a weight off my back, because I didn't really give it much thought ever, but it was almost like kind of just like nice to know that it was not my fault, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it's very easy to blame yourself for a lot of things, but like because kind of the doctor was just like, yeah, very, very high chance, and then obviously he was like, yeah, no, you definitely do have it. I was kind of just like, oh, that's nice. Like, I don't need to like. It's almost good because I don't need to worry about it being anything else. I don't think I mentioned about like if I think about something I like need to do it. But I don't know. That can be like quite. What's the word? So I could just speak off then if you're like, oh yeah, nah, I don't want to use that bit. I also find like with it that there is like times where I think about something and it's almost like a scratch I need to itch. Not like for things that I really should do, like uni work, which is a bit of a pain. It kind of be good if I could like just pick and choose what to really want to do. Like for example, if I like, I don't know, think of like 2 tunes that I'd like to play on like a night out, or like DJing. So it doesn't matter what time it is, I need to do it. Or like I'll be watching a film and then if I'm like thinking about playing the Xbox or something, I need to do it, even if it's just for like 30 seconds. Like it doesn't like not even a substantial amount of time. Or if I think of something, I kind of need to say it. Like I don't know. Like for example, if I was texting you about something and then there's just like a random, like a text that has no context at all. Like it's because it's something I've like thought about and I'm like, oh, I need to say this now. I'm also really bad for interrupting people because like, again, if I think about something that's like I need to say it, which I do actually feel bad about it because there's a couple of pals I have that just let me interrupt them all the time, which is fine. Like because they obviously understand, but I do feel bad still because I was like, and as I said, it's kind of like I need to say it. I don't know. I feel like a lot of like stuff that comes with ADHD could definitely make me seem like a prick, like just like interrupting folk or the whole like relationship thing, like almost getting bored of it.
How does that make you feel that people might think that?
It's definitely like a worry. If it's people I've never met, or I don't have like a close relationship with, I do worry about it, I would say. Like, I don't know, if I'm like speaking to somebody like to do with like uni or like just on a night out, or like if we're booking a DJ and I'm like speaking over them, I'm like, oh, they're gonna like think I'm an idiot or think I'm a prick, because like I don't really go about broadcasting it. Like I feel like it's a weird thing to say, be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna interrupt you lots because I have ADHD. Like, I don't know, I feel like as well, if I was to have to tell people that, they would just see it as an excuse. But like, it's more of a reason than an excuse. That's definitely something I've like had to come to terms with telling people about it, is knowing myself that it's not an excuse, it's a reason. And if people take it like an excuse, then that's kind of on them. I'm quite apologetic about it sometimes. Like, I don't know, whether it be interrupting or I just spat there while my lips were so moist. Like interrupting people, or I don't know, like if I have like a crash where I'm just not really up for doing anything, I don't text people, like I do feel bad about it, and I do worry that they'll like think I'm like being kind of like not nice to them, but it's like it's not really something I mean to do. Which definitely took me like a wee while to come to terms with. I was always kind of shy away from telling people I had it. Until like, well, that's more because I didn't know for certain, because I'd been to the doctors. But even now that I do know like for certainty, I still try and shy away from telling people. Like, I'm not like ashamed of it or anything. Like, it is what it is. I don't really care too much about people knowing. It's just more that I don't want people to like think different of me because I have it. Like I don't know, like as I said, just think I'm like giving it as an excuse for like being a certain way or doing certain things. Yeah, I feel like that's probably. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense.
Do you think you don't do any work because you know what to do?
Yeah. See, because I know, like, see, I don't know, this, it might sound daft, but see, because it's not something I like and I have to do it, I'll just keep putting it off. Like tidy my room it's got quite a mess because I don't want to tidy it, and then because I don't want to tidy it, I'll just keep putting it off. Or like my uni work, I don't really want, I don't feel like anyone wants to do uni work, and because I don't like it, I'll just keep putting it off. Like yesterday, I think I'd like lay in my bed for maybe about 8 hours collectively. I probably could have finished some of my uni work, but because I just didn't want to. Even though I knew in the back of my head, I was like, you need to do this. It's almost like in the back of your head, it's like someone's constantly saying, oh, you need to do that, like, you need to do that, but because I don't want to, it's like hard to actually do it. But like when I end up doing it, it's like 3 a.m. It's like a really weird time. Like I just like, it's weird because I know like a lot of people maybe worry that they've got quite a lot of hand-ins, but I know there'll be like 1 week where I'm just like, yeah, we're just doing it, and then I'll just like bash it out dead quickly. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, if I feel like if I don't want to do it, then it is hard to do it.
Is it annoying?
A little bit, because I know if I was more organised, I would get better grades. But I don't like do terribly. I'm like pretty much an average B student, which isn't a bad thing. Could definitely be worse. But I know that maybe if I was more organised and did like take more time into preparation and didn't like give myself such a heavy workload to do near a deadline, I would definitely get better marks. But then I suppose that's just another thing I've been accepting of it. I'm like, I'm never going to be a pure straight A organised student, because it's just not the way I am. It's the same in school as well. Like when I was younger, it always like, oh, if Blair paid more attention, like if Blair put more attention to detail, if he was more organised, like he'd be better, or he'd be getting better grades. But is what it is, I suppose. Like, so I'm getting like dumbed down on it. I think that's probably about. Not really. I'm not a weirdo. Like I am a weirdo. I just have ADHD. But yeah, that's probably about it, to be honest.
Say bye.
Huh?
Say bye.
See you there.